Hello everyone, this is Terry with Futures.io, and as always I would like to thank you for joining us today. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Max Timmins from Stage 5 Trading and Walter Galways from iSystems for today's webinar, Digging into the Details of iSystems. If you have a question, please feel free to type them into the questions box throughout the event and we'll do our best to answer them. If you're watching us on YouTube, please do us a favor and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the webinar. And as always, please feel free to share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. For trading news, events, and information, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter using @Futures.io. And now, without further delay, I will hand it over to Max and Walter. And Max, you should get the pop-up to share your screen now.
Show my screen. Perfect.
All right, looking good.
Does it look good?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Terry, for that introduction. Like Terry said, I'll introduce myself. My name is Max. I'm the senior broker at Stage 5 Trading. I'm here with Walter to discuss the details of the S5 iSystems. I want to thank everyone here for joining and spending the time of their day to watch the webinar with Walter and I. And I want to give a special thanks to Futures.io for letting us come on and talk about this. I do have to say, as a licensed broker, trading futures and options on futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. I'm also going to kind of run through a few slides, let them kind of hang up here for a bit. These are the important risk disclaimers for the S5 iSystems. I encourage everyone to read through this. They're going to be in the stat sheet of all the iSystems towards the bottom, but I do encourage everyone to read it, ask questions, make sure you understand everything, and I think this is a good opportunity to kind of go through a little bit of Stage 5. Stage 5 Trading is an introducing broker. We have access to many different platforms and data feeds. We can help with speculative traders, hedgers, professional traders, and beginner traders. So feel free to reach out and see for yourself. And this is the last disclaimer that I'm going to show. And again, they're all going to be in the iSystems, S5 iSystems portal. And I do encourage everyone to follow along while Walter goes through the iSystems portal. To do that, you're going to want to go to stage5trading.com. That's www.stage5trading.com. And then under the big green box that reads Explore All Platforms, there is an image of the S5 iSystems portal. Click anywhere on that image of the iSystems portal, and it'll direct you to the Stage 5 Trading iSystems webpage. And that's what it will look like. To actually explore the S5 iSystems and what it can, and all the systems that it provides, you're going to want to click on that big green box that reads, click here to explore S5 iSystems. And then to learn more about the exciting elite member offer that we'll be discussing, that I will discuss in a couple minutes, please fill out the form to the right side of this webpage. That'll go to one of the brokers here, and we will then reach out and walk you through the entire S5 iSystems portal. Another thing you can do is we have a number of different platforms that actually link together that you can use, including proprietary software, that you can use to monitor the iSystems account. This includes the S5 Trade Analyzer, the S5 Mobile, the S5 Trader, and the new S5 Web. And then if at the same time, we could walk you all through these 4 solutions, set you all up, and kind of answer any questions that you have. Now, there is a new Stage 5 Elite member offer. This will be updated on Futures.io Elite member page very soon. Then what it is you get the first 2 months of license fees free for select developers on the S5 iSystems. This is subsidized by Stage 5 Trading, and it is only for Stage 5 Futures.io Elite members, for new Stage 5 Futures.io Elite members. And a short list of participating developers can be found right there. And we'll most likely bring a few of those up in the webinar. And without further ado, I want to introduce Walter. He's formerly a co-owner of Attain Capital Management. He started trading in the pits with a badge in the mid-AM exchange, and he's the business lead for iSystems and iBroker. Walter.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You're going to switch it over to my screen now, Terry?
Yep, I'm working on that right now. You should get the pop-up any second. All right, there we
Perfect.
go.
Can you see it?
Yep, looking good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for everyone attending today. I am one of the original developers of iSystems. To give a little bit more of my background, I started back in the trading pits in the mid-90s. I had 3 older brothers down there, and so I've really learned this industry from the ground up. As I came off the floor, I've always been intrigued in trading systems, so I've probably been trading and been a part of trading systems longer than anyone that you'll probably ever talk to. One of the reasons that I really grasp systems is that, it helps my clients stay consistent. It helps with money management. It helps with a number of different things. But back in the day, when we were first doing trading systems, there were also a lot of hurdles. But as technology has grown to what it is today, we've conquered a lot of those. We have been developing the platform for well over 10 years, so it's something that's certainly not new. What is new about the platform is we used to trade it internally with our own clients, and then now we are rolling it out to Stage 5 as a partner in ours to be able to offer it to their clients. What's going to make us different than really any other platform is, we've got a lot of different rules built in. And when I talk to people about the platform, it's really, I want to stress that, they want to have confidence in the platform, transparency, and liquidity. And that's very important when you're looking at trading systems in general, because back in the day, when people would submit systems to us, we had to rely on their performance. We had to rely on how they decided to post the performance, where, with us, we try to look at net of what a client can expect. And a lot of that too is, which is very important for everyone, is, read the disclaimers. I know, people can browse over these things, but it's very important as you read the disclaimers to, one, decide if this investment is something that fits your risk profile. If it doesn't, that's great. Or two, if it does, you understand what you're getting into and how we do the testing. All the systems that you see on the site have been submitted to us, and we have a whole protocol of how we handle that. I don't want to get in the weeds on that right now, but at the end of the day, after we decide that we want to offer the systems to our client base, they have to submit it to us. So now we have 100% control of the system. It's locked down on our servers here in Chicago, and we are co-located with the CME and CQG. So we do all the order routing ourselves. So no one's sending us signals. We're not capturing trades. We're not doing anything of that. We're doing all the execution ourselves. Here, as far as transparency, this one part, this is the top 10. So this is live. So this updates throughout the day. So you can come in and see the top 10 of the session. We also show the previous session, last month, last year, and since inception. These are popular pages because a lot of times when there's market movement, the same question comes up. What's been making money this month? What's been making money, yesterday when we had a big down move? All of this information updates daily. Here, when you go over to explore the systems, this is really kind of the meat behind the curtain,
Walter,
if you will.
In the previous page, top 10, that's the top 10 of so that's the top 10 of the current session,
That's
right
it.
there?
Correct. Correct.
Of all of the systems that you have.
Correct. So this is the top 10 of the current session of the, what are we running, 1,100 systems right now.
Got it.
So here, now this is the page where you can really start digging into things. So first I'll go over the performance pages. So every time you pull up a performance page, they're going to look the exact same. And again, I don't know how many people have experience in trading systems, but for us, a lot of people, when developers give us systems, they don't put in all the costs associated with trading. And I kind of fire back and make fun of it, like, okay, well, you can't purchase a car and not put gas in it. There is a commission, there's a cost of transaction, and there's a cost to the developer. And so when we do our testing, and you can see here in the top left, it shows the name of the system. It's an E-mini NASDAQ system. It's an intraday system. So an intraday system is exactly that, pure intraday system. It will never take a position overnight. Here, then the cost of the system is $125. And so the way we do that is if it's the middle of the month and it's the 15th and you start a system, we prorate you to the end of the month. So when the end of the month happens, you'll pay $50 for the prior month. And if the system is still active, we charge the account $100 for the next month. So we prorate the first month, and we find that the fairest way to the client, so they don't have to wait till the beginning of the month to start. They can start whenever they want. After we pull the fees out of the account, we can't prorate the second month, but you're only going to pay for that next month. It's not like a quarterly, a yearly subscription. It's basically per month, per unit that is being traded. Here you can dive in tons of statistical information. Let's jump to the bottom part. So when we do our testing, there's really 3 factors that go into when you're doing testing. You got to factor in the cost of the system, which is that lease fee that you pay, that we pull from your accounts directly and is paid to the developers. Also a commission. The commission is per round turn, and built into this commission, and in this particular system, it's $750 aside. The iSystems fee is built into that. So there's no other additional fees that are charged to the account, only the lease fee and the commission. One thing to note about the special that Stage 5 is running is clients will still pay the commission, they won't pay the lease fee, just to be clear. So you're still going to pay for the transaction part of it, but you're not going to be paying for the monthly subscription fee. So when we do the testing, you can see the white here, this is all back testing. So this is when the system was submitted to us, and then we did our testing and go through the protocol. When we do the testing, we factor in, remember the 3 factors that we have. We've got the lease fees, the commission, but we also have slippage. And slippage is extremely important. And just so everyone's clear, and you guys can always toggle over any of this stuff, it'll give you definitions of everything we do. But quite simply, the slippage is the difference between where the system thinks it gets filled. So if it's trying to buy 10s and the market's 10 bid at 11 and you're going to pay 11, that's $1 in slippage. So a lot of people don't factor that in because, again, we're trying to make this as realistic as an environment. So when people decide that they want to trade a particular system, they can have confidence in the platform that the numbers are going to line up. You can test this by, if you click on the first of the month, here's a good example. We charged $125 for the lease. It had a trade that day that lost $319. Well, the account's actually down $444 total because we're factoring in that lease fee.
Got it. So you're saying that all those numbers right there in that table, the monthly lease fee are incorporated in all of them.
That's correct. And you can see it even when we're tracking. Now here, the tan is when we're tracking it. So same thing, day 1 minus $125. Because again, that's a cost to the client. And so for us, we want a client to be able to line up with what we're doing, whether we're making money or losing money. So the green is actual client trading. So if a client took every single trade in the month of September, they would be down about $1,900. So there's not going to be a material change between the two. And we do show all of that. So here, and again, let me make this point. Right now, I am in a demo account, and I'm going to show you how to start and stop a system, but we don't give demo accounts to clients because there's no advantage to the client. We kind of view this whole platform as the iPhone. There's no user manual. It's very easy to figure out. What's more complicated is just how much power and how many tools you have at your hands, but we're open architecture. So all you guys after the seminar or the webinar can go to Stage 5's website and you can look at all these exact numbers. As far as the trade by trades, and this is where we kind of get deep with everyone, we show everything. So we show the actual trade. We get positive slippage, we get negative slippage. It's a function of the market. But we show the best and worst fill across all clients across the world that are trading this particular program. And so we show the hypothetical and the average. And so your account is always going to get filled between the best and worst fill. And there's no advantage from my clients that are trading very large to trading one lot. We fire every order independently, instantly, directly into your account. And at the same time, we also place all stops or limit orders that have been brought into it. So we route directly into the account. So there's no give up fees, there's no block trading, there's no APS. You can do this now 24 hours a day as well. Once we give a client access, they can go in at any time, as long as the market is open, and start and stop a system whenever they want. And we'll get into a little bit more of that. Here, we also show
Walter,
the spreadsheet. Go ahead.
The slippage per side up there, is that just an average of the slippage on this entire trade log?
No, it's a 50, basically it's a 50-day moving average across
Got it.
all systems that we're trading that
Okay.
trade this particular market. So here also too, we also provide the spreadsheet, so you can download every single trade. You can look at every single trade. You can look at the session log. Again, we provide the spreadsheet because that's, I mean, my goal. You know, when I talk to people about iSystems, and we're going to talk about the philosophy of picking a system in a minute. You know, my job is to make sure, you know, this functions correctly, that, you know, people are lining up. Again, making money or losing money, my job is to make sure that it lines up. Again, kind of the confidence in the platform. But we also do the transparency where we do divulge all the different trade by trades. All this stuff updates at the end of day. Now here, if you look at the top part, we have tons of statistical numbers. You can look at since we've tracked it, since it's been live, the worst drawdown, and the drawdown, you know, these drawdowns, there's always a new drawdown and a new equity high in front of you. We also have suggested capital, required capital. These two numbers are very important. The suggested capital is just that. And this is suggested capital that we come up with, not the developer, based on the risk protocol of the system. Required, and this suggested capital, all these numbers are based off suggested capital. Required capital is just that. What is required in the account in order for me to take a signal? Because again, we're 100% automated. There's no humans involved in any piece of this. So we've coded this thing to the nth degree where, you know, we monitor these accounts trade by trade during the day. So when you start a system, it's going to continue trading until you tell it to stop or your account drops below our required capital. So the way the required capital works is at the beginning of the day, we take a snapshot of the account. And if there's, you know, $1,700 in that account, you're going to have the right to take that trade if there is one for the day. At the end of the day, if the account now is at $1,000, you're automatically deactivated from the system. And every time you start or stop a system or you get automatically deactivated a system, an email is sent to you. So that's how we keep in, you know, you can log in during the day, you know, and see tick by tick, trade by trade. But anytime there's a change, again, you tell it to start, you tell Max to start it for you, or it goes below the required capital, you're automatically deactivated. Very important.
Walter, do any of those, the suggested capital, required capital, do they have anything to do with the worst drawdown? Because, you know, the required capital is less than the worst drawdown. So, you know, do you incorporate the worst drawdown in the suggested capital?
Yes, so the worst drawdown is going to be incorporated in the suggested capital. The required capital is more the worst session. So we know going back till 2008, the worst session we ever saw was $954. We have our own algorithm that reads market volatility and also the worst session to come up with what our required capital is. Make sense?
Yeah.
And those are important numbers because, I mean, clients, you know, and again, this is, you know, people can leverage themselves. I mean, that's the future's business. But now we spell it out to say, hey, you know, again, you're going to drop below this number, we're going to automatically remove you. And so for swing systems, so with swing systems, and what's a good example here? If we look at, so here, you can see our required capital is a lot more than what the margin is. So if you drop below our required capital on a swing system, although you have the full margin to hold that position overnight, per our risk protocols of iSystems, we are going to deactivate the system on next market open. So on the swing systems, we take full margin plus our risk protocol. And here's another example. So here's another system, different developer. So now you can get accustomed to what you're reading. Mini NASDAQ, it's a swing system, which means it's holding a position overnight. It can hold a position from 1 to 4 days. Same thing. This is when it was loaded. The tan is when we were tracking it. Green is when we have live clients trading. Here's the live log. Positive, negative slippage. It happens both ways. We show everything. You can download it. So this gets into more detail and gets you more accustomed as you start reading these things. You know, again, you can dive in. What was the best session? The time percent with an open position. That's a very important number. If you want to look at different ratios, again, very important numbers to figure out what your risk protocol is. To dive deeper into systems, you can also search and sort all the systems. So here, we have some free ones that are already done here, but here we're running 1,100 systems. You can go in here and say, okay, I want to look at the markets traded. I want to look at crude oil and E-mini. So out of 1,100 systems, I got 227 that are of these two markets. Then you can take it a step further. You can say, okay, you know, what has been positive for the last, 3 months? So I can add that filter. So out of the 227, I have 100 that have been positive over the last 3 months. So this is how you start to figure out what your risk protocol is, because everyone's risk is different, which now, again, having the transparency, you guys can dig down to find out what's something for you. So someone coming to us with, you know, a $100,000 account to a $2,000 account, it's obviously an entirely different conversation, but our goal is to be as transparent to our clients as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, right there. I mean, 1,100. That's a scary number when you first open it, but 2 filters right there brings it down to 100. I mean, I like
Correct.
that.
And that's, you know, and you know, that's one of the complaints we get is there's too many systems. But for me, you know, we want to be kind of like the app store of systems. You know, you go there, you can have confidence in what we're going to do. Again, if you're making money or losing money, you know, it's going to happen both ways, but you can have that confidence and know that, you know, the trading is going to be done exactly how we're posting on the site. And there's no human person involved, because that's, you know, a lot of times when, again, back in the day when people were sending us signals, you know, I didn't know if that was a true signal. I didn't know if he turned the system off. I didn't know if he's changing the parameters. Well, now we know 100% what's going on. And that's a question that we get too. You're going to notice there's different, oh, you always got to remember to clear your filters, by the way, or you won't see all the systems. But you're going to see there's different versions of the same system, like crude oil. Here's the 12, and I think there's, you know, 8 other ones. So when someone changes the code of a system, so a developer comes and says, hey, I've changed the code. We ask them, what did you do? Well, then we run a correlation matrix between what they did and the original system. So if there's enough of a change, then we'll post the new system and keep the old system on the website. So we don't hide systems. So we'll still show that. And developers will change their code for several different reasons. One is some developers believe that they want to go in and every 3 to 6 months and they want to tweak the system. They want to improve it, hopefully improve it, with the current market conditions. You know, so you're going to see different versions. Others, you know, they might change it, and they might change it even more than that, where then we're going to just post the new signals, the new systems. So that's our way of letting them do it, but they have to they can't do it without us knowing. They have to tell us what they're doing. We make all the changes for them based on their code. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So then from here, so then that's how we know. So now it comes into the topic of picking a system, which, you know, again, it depends on your risk protocol, which is extremely important that you always have to figure that out, because, you know, when people look at drawdowns, they don't think they're ever going to happen again. Well, that's kind of false expectation, right? Because if you think about it, you know, you've picked a system. If I look at this system, what do I call Battle Quant? Its worst drawdown is $3,700, right? So if I want history to repeat itself, which you do because you've chosen the system, you want the drawdown to happen again. I mean, no one, you know, it's an ugly word, and everyone always runs away with it, but, you know, that's going to happen again. So you have to be prepared for that. And if you're not prepared for that, then don't start trading this particular system. Because, and that's another thing, when I say people can start and stop whenever they want, so as an example, here, if I look at the, if we look at the monthly P&L, if we just pick a day, you know, so let's just say this system is down $500, or, you know, or it's up $500, and you go in and say, okay, you know what, it's making $500, and for whatever the reason is, the talking heads on TV, tomorrow's FOMC, you want to be out of the market, whatever, you can go in and say, okay, you know what, stop the system immediately. Within a millisecond, you're flat the market. The system's still running, right? Because we're running other clients. And so we'll show you on your performance tab the difference between how you have changed the system by starting and stopping to how the system performs. So, and that always gets into something like I tell people again, you know, look, we look at a track record. that's with the idea of taking every single trade, right? So why going forward are you going to start cherry picking the trades? To me, it makes no sense. But for you as a client, you have 24-hour liquidity and transparency. You can do that whenever you like. For me, I tell clients, we've chosen a system for a reason, stick to it. If you want to get out because of risk or things like that, but at the end of the day, you have total control, and that's one thing to touch on too. These accounts are set up so when you guys call Max and the S5 team and you guys want to get an iSystems account going, we open up a related account or a new account, you fund it, but it's a self-directed account. It's not letter of direction or power of attorney. So it's your account. Then we give you the platform to go in and start and stop these systems whenever you want. What's great about that is also now we can have one account that you can trade one system or you can trade 100 systems in the same account. We track all that performance. We track all the numbers, and so you'll see everything based on coming in one account on our platform. Just like if you start a system on our platform, you can't go to a trading platform to exit. You have to go to ours because, again, there's adjacent orders that can be placed that we have to make sure that we cancel.
Got it. But they could essentially monitor those positions. They can't, they would have to go to the iSystems portal, the S5 iSystems portal to disable them, but would they be able to monitor them on the platform?
Absolutely. That's where I'm going right now. So here,
Awesome.
These are the systems I'm running right now. And so you can see tick by tick, trade by trade. So if I want to go in and say, okay, I want to stop this system, it's a two-step process. And again, it's all here. I want to stop the strategy. Okay, well, when do you want to stop it? I don't want to take any more after this trade, or I want to stop it right now. They go in, they stop it immediately. So right now, whatever it is, I bought a NASDAQ at the market. I've canceled any orders, and now you can see the system has disappeared from my capital because now I'm out of it. So that's what a lot of clients will do there. So right now I got out of the system. Now they can go back in and say, okay, I'm out for today, and reactivate it and start trading tomorrow. So that's what a lot of people do. So you don't have to wait till tomorrow to reactivate the system. So literally that's how easy it is. So now let's start a system. So here, if I go back to the top 10, and this is in a system, whatever, gasoline. So if I go in, actually I'll do an index. This NASDAQ system.
Just to repeat ourselves, this is the top 10, right? Just to repeat ourselves, this is like the ranking, basically, of the current session. Correct.
Top 10. So here, you can see how it's locked. It's a two-step process. I buy the license. This is $30 a month. And a lot of times, like the flex thing, a lot of developers will offer a flex license, which basically is a discount. So anytime you're trading more than 5 contracts or 5 units, if you don't see the flex, ask the guys at Stage 5. Mm-hmm. Typically, all developers will give a 20% discount on anything more than 5 contracts. So we can do that for you and set it up. But here, so I've subscribed. So here, read the disclaimers. People read your disclaimers. You should always read your disclaimers so you know what's going on. But you're agreeing to pay $30 a month. Here, you accept it. So now you've activated it. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to activate the system because you've purchased the license. So now you can say, well, the market's closed at next market open or next entry. So again, it knows it's in a position. It's going to ask you what you want to do. Well, I'll get it on the next time the market opens. So now I've activated it. And you guys are on my screen. It's not this slow, just FYI. But here, you go back to my systems, and you can see it's been activated, and there's my condition. It's yellow, pending on next market open. And this is an important point too, so now everything we're looking at here and we're doing, there are no data fees that the clients pay because we're not giving you data. So that's important. So the platform is free for someone to look at, free for someone to open an account and be ready to trade. The only time you pay is when you buy a license and activate a system, and that's where the lease fees come into play, also the commissions.
Got it.
So again, the same way, and now here, because it's a demo, we don't have the performance, but you can see all your fills for the day. You can see if there's any orders that are being placed. Like, look, I started that NASDAQ system, and I already have my stop in. The performance button doesn't work on the demos because it's too much of a drag on us, but that is where you'll see you can sort by, I mean, even here, you can sort by product, you can sort by system if you want to see that. And on the performance is the same way. So you'll see exactly your account value and how you've done. And we show the difference of you starting and stopping a system or you tracking the system, you know, literally there's a chart and a whole setup. And that's one thing that I would encourage all of you, if you haven't seen the Join the Algo Revolution marketing piece we did, that's a great piece that you know, contact the guys from Stage 5 because it really tells the story of what you get. It goes through why are we picking a system? Then it goes in, okay, once I lease it, what do the emails look like that come to me? You know, how do I maintain, how do I monitor things? But the data fees is also important to make sure everyone understands that you're not incurring that extra cost.
Got it. Awesome.
So here, and again, it all goes back to transparency. You know, people can go in, if they go in and they see a system they like, they can start and they can stop. So, and at any time, so even if the market's closed as an example, you know, that's how we did it. It'll do it on next market open. Just like if you're in a swing system, so at about, actually right about now, we update all the numbers. And so if at the end of today's trading session, you're in a swing system and you've dropped below our market, our required capital, on the next market open, that's when you'll be exited the position. And again, an email is sent to you notifying that you've been deactivated. Mm-hmm. Another question we get is, here I'm running whatever, five different systems. Well, when you get, so if I drop below, it's the total required, let's say on all these systems is $25,000 and my account drops to $24,000, we don't deactivate all systems. We deactivate the newest system that you had activated because we figured that's the system you would want to deactivate because you want to keep the ones that you've been running longer. So again, everything we do is 100% systematic. So we've systematically come up with a way to do that. So that's the way, so we don't, again, deactivate everything, we'll deactivate the specific system. If the specific system's trading a 5 lot, as an example, we don't just deactivate one system, one contract, we'll deactivate the entire system to get you under that required capital.
Got it. So if we are below, for this current portfolio, if we fall below the required capital, the first system to be shut off, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the Google Trends Weekly NQ.
Well, no, I don't know which system. It would be the latest one that you had. Yeah, if that's the one I just activated, I don't remember. It's just the newest one you just activated.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever that newest one is, that's the first one that we would deactivate.
I'm pretty sure that was the one we just activated. So, but that would since we just activated, if we just activated the Google Trends Weekly NQ, that would be deactivated first. Okay.
Correct. And then that too. And that's one thing too with deactivations is, you know, it's always getting under required capital, and we do it at end of day. So, you know, if you start the day, you know, and the required capital is, you know, $5,000 on a swing system, right, and your account's got $6,000. When your account gets to $5,000, we don't deactivate you. We deactivate you at the end of the day. So it's not a hard stop. So it's always at the end of the day because who knows what's going to happen, but there's enough money there that we're comfortable and the FCM's comfortable from a risk perspective to let you trade through that day. So that's, you know, again, it's always going to be at the end of day.
Okay. I gotcha. Hey, Walter, can you go back to one of the systems? Like just open up, you know, one of these right now to the stat sheet.
Yes. Which one?
Whichever one you pick.
Okay.
Perfect. What are those 3 type of charts that you have up there? Like there's looks like there's this one and then there's like a scatter chart.
Sure. Yeah. So this again gets into more details. The drawdown scatter, which I think is great because for me, again, is how the way I like to choose systems is I like to see systems that have been traded that are in drawdown. You know, because to me, I've seen it, you know, over and over again. Again, this is no guarantee that the drawdown is not going to continue to go, by all means. But what it does tell me is, you know, if I'm buying in at a drawdown, you know, hopefully I'm also then buying in at a discount. So if this system, if you start a system that's down, you know, here's $3,000, and it looks like right around when we had our max drawdown, a lot of people are going to get scared and say, oh, maybe the system's broken, which it could be broken. I'm not saying it can't be broken. Don't get me wrong. But to me, there's enough of a history where, okay, if I can get in the system when it's in a drawdown, maybe I could trade back up to the average. Maybe it trades out of its hole, where then that is getting in at a discount. But I don't use the discount as an actual discount. It's getting in when the system is underperforming, which is a better word to use. And you can also, you can tighten this up. Again, you can break it down. You can look at it. I mean, this is where, you can kind of get in the weeds a little bit more to see how long was it in the drawdown, how long did it last. Again, this is where it all gets back down to the transparency and how people pick a system. It's up to them. But at the same time, we certainly feel that we're giving as much information as we possibly can to the client so they can make an educated decision whether to start a particular system or to not trade a particular system.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
Questions?
All right.
And I think that's one thing to point out as far as our execution is, we have co-located with CQG CME. So someone asked me, has iSystems ever gone down?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no, knock on wood, because we are co-located with CME CQG. And I say CQG, those that don't understand, CQG is an API, an order routing API that is probably one of the largest in the industry. And so we just simply route orders through the CQG API. So you're not a customer of CQG, you're not paying for the platform. We just use their pipe to route the orders to the CME or to wherever we have to route the orders.
Okay. Can someone use the iSystems platform to develop their own strategies or build strategies, for the iSystems portal? Basically, they're asking, how do they become a developer?
Sure.
And what language?
Mm-hmm. We bring in, so we accept several different codes, TradeStation, multi-charts, C#, but we also have our own development. So when someone comes to us, and this is free to use, which I'm not per se the developer behind it, but you can go here and, they can send you the link and you can download it, you can trade it. I've got a team of 21 people that support it, actually from Madrid, Spain. My partner there, we've worked together since the year 2000. But here's where you can go in and do all your coding. We prefer our coding, our platform, because it integrates very easily with iSystems. But we have lots of TradeStation users that have come to us with easy language. Easy language does have some limitations and things like that. They're a little bit more difficult to load, a little bit more difficult to monitor, but using ours is definitely the best. If you have a system that you want to then, put out to the crowd, that'd be something to contact Stage 5 with. We've got a process to start to figure out if it's going to be something that we're going to be interested in. Then from there, we actually give you a developer portal. So you will see as a developer, everyone that's trading, how many contracts are being traded, what you're due at the end of the month, because we pull all that money directly from the account. So it's very transparent to the developer because, over the years, me protecting code and systems is my life, right? If I breach that, it's a house of cards. So we're extremely careful on protecting code and transparent to the developer. So they'll see exactly how many contracts are being traded. And there's no way for anyone to do anything fishy because again, we're doing everything ourselves, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Do they need a VPS between a personal computer and yours?
No, because you're not sending me signals.
Got it. And then
you're not sending me signals. You're sending me, once we decide we want your system or it's going to work, we sign a non-disclosure with you. You physically send us the signal, the system, we load it on our machines, we generate the performance, and then as a developer, you sign off on it before we post it, say, this looks good, we're lining up, everything's good, we post it, there we go.
Got it. And then do you know what are strategies based on technical analysis? Is there something specific that, or is it just whatever the developer, builds it on, basically?
Well, it's all technical analysis because it's all electronic and computerized. I mean,
Okay.
there's no fundamental and there's no human involved. We used to post the descriptions of the systems, and it actually, I know a lot of people are going to be like, that doesn't make sense that you took them down. It caused a lot of confusion because, oh, well, it says it was a breakout today. I mean, I've taken technical charting classes. I mean, I've done it all my own career. I can show someone a chart. I can show 3 people the same chart, and you're going to get 3 different opinions. So we removed them to kind of keep the clients focused on, because to me, yes, is it a breakout? Sure. All systems generally are going to be mean reversion. They're going to be, counter breakout or breakout, right? Because we're trading short-term models, right? We're only doing day trade or swing. So, to know that information, is it going to help with your trading decision? To me, look at the numbers. I mean, that's where the rubber hits the road. Look at that drawdown. If that drawdown is something that is too much for you, don't trade that system. I use the analogy of cars. How many Ferraris you see on the road? I mean, everyone kind of wants one, I think. I mean, not me necessarily, but, a Ferrari is going to be, they're going to, or a minivan, which I've owned a few of those. I mean, they're going to get you from A to B, but how fast you go and how much it costs and how expensive it is when you crash, that's up to your own personal risk. So, when you're looking at systems, always look at the red first. Always look at that drawdown. Always make sure you're comfortable with the risk. If you're not comfortable with the risk, don't do it in any investment and anything in the world. I just always step back, because again, when you invest in anything in life, and especially in systems, you want to be consistent. That's the name of the game.
Got it. Cool.
I mean, I can speak for hours, but I don't know.
There's a question from one of the members asking about the criteria to use to deactivate a strategy, and basically that is the latest one that has been turned on. Even if that latest one that has been turned on is accumulating the most P&L, the highest
Correct.
P&L.
It's just going to be the newest one that has been activated. We automatically deactivate.
Got it.
Because again, we're systematic. So when we sat down and figured this out, it was like, well, systematically that makes sense. I mean, you don't want to trade the ones, you don't want us to deactivate the one system you've been trading forever. And in the email that you get, it's going to tell you you've been deactivated. You can go back in and reactivate it, or send money in. You send money in or go change your portfolio any way you want, because again, there's no broker intervention. So it's not like you've got to tell someone before the beginning of the day or by the end of the day. I mean, we've got clients all over the world. So if you think about that too, we've eliminated really the time zone issues, right? I mean, as long as the market's open, of course, but we've eliminated that. I mean, so someone, in Australia can start and stop a system, and someone in Chicago can do the same. So the time zones are over, and you're not having to wait on, again, not that I'm taking brokers out of the equation, but when it comes to systematic trading, it's the best way to keep everyone out of the emotions out of the way, and hopefully follow a system and be consistent with your trading.
Yeah. But everyone loves a personal broker. Am I right?
No, absolutely. And depending on what you're doing, you need a personal broker. And I got to say, I work with a lot of groups, and Stage 5 does a great job with retail clients and taking them and helping them with, they've got so many different tools that, you can really kind of go in there and figure out what works for you. But when it comes to systematic trading, take that, it's eliminating the emotion of trading, and following the rules.
Yep. Awesome. Let's see here. Oh, that's a good question. What if you have an iSystem running on a market that you're also trading discretionary? Will it confuse by your position? Will it differentiate between the system trades and discretionary non-system trades in the S5 current analytical S5 trade analyzer? And from my knowledge, it's 2 separate accounts. We would, if you want to trade a discretionary account and then an iSystems account, we would have to open up a sub account and assign the sub account to the iSystems account.
Correct. And you physically move money into that sub account. So you'll move however much you want to invest in iSystems into that account, because that's where we read our risk and our numbers. So the trades will be totally different. And that's being said, if you're trading your own retail discretionary account in one account and your iSystems is long any many and you want to get out, you're not going to the trading platform. You're going to iSystems platform because you have to deactivate it on ours, because that's where, again, now we know to cancel orders, to, you know, no new signals, things like that, which is all done instantly.
Got it. Cool. I mean, I can go on forever about this stuff, Walter.
Well, we don't have the time today, so I'll let you wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up. Terry, if you could show my last slide, it's just going to be my email, and I know I didn't get to every single question out there, and I want to hear those questions. I want to help. I want to answer them. So let me just move my screen. I think you guys see it, right?
Yes.
So, you know, my name's Max again. My number's right there. There's my email. I have a great group of brokers here that will also be able to help. Ian, Kevin, they're great guys. So we're all here to help. I want to hear every question. So I encourage everyone to reach out to us if you did not get your question answered. And we look forward to helping you opening up your first or an additional iSystems account.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you, Terry.
Absolutely. Thank you both for the time, for the webinar, and for spending some time with us this evening.
Anytime. And everyone have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the week.
Cheers.